Dave, it has been has it been a year since?
No, it's been about a year and a half. Yeah, it's been about
a year and a half. All right. So let's fast forward to today.
Okay.
All right. I want to ask, I'm a recruit looking at your company.
Okay.
What are you proud of that you would want me to know? Somebody that's just listening to you, because our whole industry has cultures they've built, but
Right.
we're all certainly proud of something.
Right. Well, the thing I'm most proud of the impact that I get to have on the lives of people who decide they're going to trust me based on what I've told them about what's possible in a career in this industry. And if they will do what I tell them, obviously it's not a buffet. You can't pick different things. I'll do that, but not this. Like, no, that's not how it works. If you do everything that we teach, everything that we say that you have to do, it will change your life. And it really does. It's a life-changing industry. And that's what I love about it is that if you do it, it will change your life. It will be in such a hugely positive way. So it's a blessing to be in this industry and to be able to get to do that.
Considering what the world's going through and multiple businesses have gone through, it is a blessing for sure. And I love that you said transformative, right? That you really can take somebody who's raw and willing, whether they're experienced or new,
right,
and make their lives better. I mean, what greater gift can you have? I mean, I get paid for this for a living, and I'm like,
right.
Pinch me every day.
Right.
And so how have you adjusted over the past year and a half?
Well, I reached out to you a year and a half ago because it was somebody at a conference, a good friend, told me that the way I was hiring new people wasn't going to be scalable. And it wasn't, because it was completely by chance that I would hire somebody that didn't have any experience. I'm like, okay, I'll train you. And so I reached out to you. You and I have done business together for years, but I've never really tried to formalize a training program. And when I reached out to you and talked to you about it, I mean, you made me realize the possibility in it. And so thank you. And that's what we set out to do. And we've spent the better part of a year building out a platform, and we're still building it. Like, it will probably never be done building it because we can continue just the conversation that we had right before we started about, oh, that's a really good idea. And so, so what's changed is that we've built that platform, and we've got, actually right now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in the program, and they've started at various times over the last year, and it's going fantastic. It's so fun, and we need to keep going. So I'm talking to like 4 or 5 other people in various stages right now of deciding if they want to take the leap. So it's a blast. I'm having a blast.
I absolutely love bringing new people in, especially when you think about your experienced people. Know you're bringing these young, I'm going to call it young, but new, they don't have to be young, talent in, and they're like, I don't want to get beat by the rookie.
Right.
So they get a little bit paranoid and go, what are they doing? I better up my game. So I used to call that the XINNIX lift. There's no charge for that, right? Get the experienced people paranoid that they're going to get beat by the rookie. Right. Well, I'm dying to know, we've all shifted our cultures. I'm going to say that we've shifted our process. Typically, like, there's more remote employees than I've had before. Like, I was already remote, but I wasn't 100%. So how has your culture shifted in the remote world?
Well, the people that join this program, so I have loan officers that have worked for me my longest tenured loan officers worked here for 18, 19 years, Giuseppe. And Giuseppe went remote when all of this started, and now he's discovered that he really likes working remotely, and he closed 600 loans last year. It's like, I guess you're okay to work remote. Go ahead. And several people on his team are remote, but he's got a 5-person team. But I've got my next biggest producer is like, no, I don't want to work at home. I'm coming to the office. The third biggest producer is like, I want to come to the office. So So as far as new people are concerned, these people that I'm bringing into this program, you need to plan to work in the office for the next 12 months while I'm training you, because I expect you to be here every day. I'm going to make a huge investment in your career, and you're going to do the same thing. So it's not, I'm probably maybe a little more rigid about certain things, Casey, that maybe others aren't, but I know what works. And so I know what works for me. And I had a gal that I was talking to last week. It's like, well, could I start in the program, but still work part-time? I was like, no, that doesn't work. So no.
For you.
And so I know what works and what doesn't. So I've become a little less, I don't need to work on figuring out ways to make it work for somebody else. Like, no, I know what works. So if you do so that's it. That's my culture.
I love that. So has it changed over the past year and a half as far as keeping people connected?
Maybe a little bit, but we've always been really, I do a weekly Friday. We do several things. So on the sales side, we do a Tuesday morning, all sales people for 30 minutes at least meet. It's about 30 minutes, it can go longer or shorter, but every Tuesday it's called Coffee for Closers. Everybody has something like that. And we'd start with gratitudes. We go around the room and what's everybody grateful for. And then we spent some time on, we had everybody read How to Win Friends and Influence People, and everybody was sharing what they'd learned over. It's one of the best books ever. Right. And we got so much out of that. And then on Fridays with the newer people, we have a Friday tune-up meeting and shared learning, like what were your wins and what were your lessons for the last week. So that's going really well. And then every Friday at noon, we do a company-wide conference call, Zoom conference, where we just update everybody on where we're at, different announcements, so that kind of thing. We did a company Rockies game, Colorado Rockies game at Friday, just this last Friday night. So we've been able to stay pretty, I like people in the office, Casey. I'm more, and so we have our operations people are doing 3 days a week. They're alternating. Everybody's here Monday, and then Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday people. And and then we're still doing that. I think a lot of people like that. Some people are still coming in every day, and it's like, nah, I'll just come in every day. And so that's what we're doing.
So you're giving them that flexibility.
We've become flexible in an area that I never thought I would be.
Yeah, me too. Right. I always said you got to be in. Thought I only needed to hire local people. Now I have more than 2/3 of my company are remote.
Wow.
So I know, right? And it's crazy. And so that effort to really maintain the culture that you create in person, you got to be real intentional for sure.
Yeah.
To not lose it.
On salespeople, I've always, I'm a big fan, and I think you've interviewed Larry Kendall from the group Real Estate. He wrote Ninja Selling. I think anyway, he says it in there, and it's always held true to me. And I know you'll agree. The best performers are at work every morning at like 8 o'clock, 8:30, and they're working. They come to work and they work. When you start working at 10 or 11, you're not really working. You're not really,
it's true. Very true.
I don't know what you did for like the first 3 hours of the day, but you didn't work. And so,
right.
I think, and for me, I'm a come to the office work person. I start my morning at home and I do some things, but I come to work. I'm all, that's just me. So, but again, Giuseppe, 600 loans last year working from home, and he loves it.
He's loving it. Yeah. I got to tell you, it's been, for me personally, it's been a huge win, the new flexibility, because I'm the leader that says you got to lead by example. So if I'm in, you're in, right? And when this whole thing happened and we had to work from home, I was like, I'm really enjoying this because I'm a mom, right? So I can be there when the kids come home from school to at least say hello, right? Whether I'm doing homework with them or not. So I've been able to sort of adjust and allow the employees to adjust as well. And it's just been a blessing. But it's funny, I was in 5 days last week, so I'll probably be in 3 days this week.
Right.
Maybe all 5, we'll see. But having that flexibility it gives you a lifestyle that you really had always hoped for, that a lot of people don't have. But anyway, tell me this, what's your greatest priority that you're working on right now? I mean, it's interesting market, big things going out there. When's it going to stop?
It's growing this sales team. It's not, my number one priority is growing this sales team. We have a target that we want 30 loan officers averaging 100 loans a year by 2022, by the end of 2022. So on that pace, So I've got more people to hire, and then we won't be done, but that's the first milestone that we're targeting. And so we currently have 16 producing loan officers that are either experienced or in a training, they're in the training platform. We'll call it the Zenith Elite Sales Training Academy. I don't know if I already said that, but in that academy. And so, so that's the number one priority, is growing the sales team. I have a bunch of other little things that I was going to and this is like going, except then if you have more than one priority, you don't have any. So yeah, right, that's the one.
What are you looking for in these salespeople to join your company? What qualities do you look for?
We have I don't have it in front of me, but we have, there's definitely some characteristics that are really coachable is huge. Obviously they have to be willing to take direction. I know what you have to do. I know exactly what you have to do. And if you will do it, it always works. But if you fight me on it, it's like, after you close, 200 loans, we can talk, but I know what works. And so that's what you have to do. So I'm looking for coachable, obviously. And I've always said, I think most people are ambitious. Everybody would like to have a really nice car, and a nice home, and lots of money and vacations, but not everybody has the drive and the energy to do it. And you and I both know, when you start in this business, the first year is the grind year, right? Like you have to grind, you have to have the energy to grind for that first year, because you're not going to have immediate massive success. Some do, and it's great, but for the most part, that first year. So I need somebody that's got that energy, obviously ambitious, but then with the drive and the energy, because that's the differentiator. They have to be mortgage smart, and they just have to be smart and be able to grasp, because it's a complicated business. We know. I like college degree isn't mandatory for me, but certainly doesn't hurt. And I love people that were athletic or competitive in some way. Either they played or they're really into sports, and they might be, maybe they weren't great athletes, but they were. I actually like the athletes that didn't quite able to ever play first string, but they were always trying to be first string. Love those guys. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff I'm looking for, but it doesn't have to be sports. There's a bunch of ways that you can be competitive that weren't sports related.
All right. So by the way, we found when we did a study of our top producers that we had gone through our program, that there were some common themes and traits. And one of them was athletes did exceptionally well. Athletes that were on teams did really well. So big difference between the independent golfer. I'm not saying anything bad about golfing, right, but the guy that competed there was not always as good as the one who competed.
Team sports.
Team sport, right?
Right.
And we also found the word coachable. Ours was they were impatient. So
yes.
Patient people. So the guy that bugs you to death to hire him might be a really good one to consider, because imagine what he'll do when he gets a loan, right?
I was really impatient. Yeah. So when you're impatient, you want everything now, and they might be a little bit of a pain, but they're good. Like going, ooh, I like how impatient they are. It's annoying, but that means they're going to really work. And
we say at our company, it's better to say whoa than giddy up, right? So
that's right. Yeah. If I have to say, yeah.
If I gotta say giddy up, we're in big trouble.
When are you gonna get? What's that? Jim Rohn's like, no one ever had to say, when are you gonna get going?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly. Let's go. So, all right. So let's end with this question, because leadership is the key right now. I believe in the success of almost any company in America. It's the success of your company, my company, and we pour ourselves into our own leaders. Can you sort of share with me your philosophy on leadership? For anyone listening in?
Well, it's simple as lead by example, and I'm aware. I actually have this written up on my wall because I was doing a leadership thing, and it says everyone is watching you, and because everybody's watching what I say and what I do, and I sometimes forget that everything I say is amplified. It's so much because I'm the president of the company, and everybody's like, oh, Dave said, and I always find that I have to catch myself, because like going, why do you care that much what I thought? But because you're the president of the company. And so I think that's probably the biggest thing, is knowing that everybody's watching you. You have to really be careful how you approach people and what you say. I really, I don't think leadership is hard. I think leadership is recognizing that you have that influence. And I just like people. I like talking. What I miss about being a producing loan officer is the relationships with the clients that I had. And I just loved them. And the guy that I told you I went on a motorcycle, 1 week motorcycle ride 2 weeks ago with a friend. I met him doing his loan in 1999. That's how we met. And we're 20 years later, he lives in Dallas. We're still friends and we take this motorcycle ride so I miss the relationships. So that's where I think leadership has been, I don't want to say it's easy. It's kind of natural because I just like talking to people. I don't like to not talk to people. So if you work in my company, we're going to talk. And that's it. Yeah. So there you go.
Lead by example. And I wrote down the word amplified, because everything you do is amplified.
Everything. And everyone's watching you.
I wrote that one down. Everyone is watching you. Wow. If everybody realized, put a glass wall on your office and everyone could see how you speak, what you do, imagine the impact it would make on how you lead.
Right. That's a great point.
I like my mama. If my mama was in the room, would she be proud? Well, thank you so much for just
Casey, I have to thank you. I know you always do that. You always thank everybody else, but you've had such a huge impact on my company. XINNIX is a phenomenal program. I'm going to be using it forever. And so thank you. I appreciate all the effort that you guys put into this program. You have great people on your team. It's been a huge, it's the cornerstone of our deal. So of our training platform. So thank you for that. Casey, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
And God bless you, Dave. Have a great day and thank you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.